Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Today we shall learn about letter writing. Let's first see what we did the previous week. There we did a poem, My House. We read it, I explained it to you, and then learned different strategies to paraphrase. I hope now you would be proficient enough for that. Now let's see the objectives for today's lesson, that is the letter writing. The objectives are to enable the students to know about the importance of creating formal and informal documents, to learn basic letter formats and letter writing strategies, and to discover about letter writing tips. What is letter? A written or printed communication directed to a person or organization. Directed means to say something to a particular person or organization. So a letter is a written or printed communication, like you want to say something to somebody. Directed to a person means to say something to a particular person or organization. Letter writing. Why? Why to learn letter writing? Every educated person should know how to write a clear and readable letter. Students, if you notice that everyone has sometimes to write a business letter of some sort and may have to face some kind of a problem of writing an important letter, that will affect very badly his interest in life. So the art of letter writing is therefore something that every educated person must acquire, must learn for practical reasons. Clear? Classification of letters. Letters may be divided into two classes. First is the business and official letters, which include applications, letters to business companies, newspapers, letters of order, request, and recommendation, etc. Then is personal or private or social letter, which includes letters between friends and relatives and notes of invitation, etc. These are the two classes of letters. Fine? Let's move on. When writing letters, first you have to decide if those letters are going to be formal or informal. What are the formal letters? What are the informal letters? Formal letters are usually written for official reasons. A formal letter, also known as a business letter, as I've told you earlier also, and it is written in a formal language with a specific structure and layout. Whereas an informal letter is a personal letter. You may want to ask for something or communicate with a friend far away. Formal letters are written to the people you don't know, or they are written to an organization such as a bank or a newspaper editor or the council. Possibly the letters of complaints or letters asking for information. These are the kinds of formal letters. And then comes the informal letters. Informal letters are written to the people you know, such as your friends or relatives, like your mother, father, brother, sister, aunt, uncle, etc. Like any relatives you can write. They are called as informal letters. Clear, children? Clear till here? Okay. Rules for all letters, whether they are the formal letters or whether they are the informal letters, there are certain rules. It is important that your handwriting must be neat and clear. Then The writer's address is written in the top left-hand corner. Underneath is the date. Then leave a space after the address and date. Spell out the month. Try to spell out the month in full. For example, 15 February. February in full spellings, 2020. Begin the letter as dear, so on the left hand side. A formal letter usually ends with either yours sincerely or yours faithfully, followed by your signature. I'll tell you about the signature in detail afterwards. And one thing to note here is yours always begin with a capital letter, but sincerely and faithfully, etc., they begin with the small letter. Revise the rules for using capital letters. Like once you have written the whole letter, now see the rules for the capital letters in the whole letter. Always use paragraphs when writing a letter, not the points, okay? And after you read out your letter in the notebook, check back to see whether to see that you have followed all the rules of letter writing or not. We will discuss all these rules in detail in the upcoming slides. The form of letters, very important thing. In all the kinds of letters, there are certain points of form to be attended to. Like you have to take care of all these things. And what are those form of letters? The heading. Heading consists of the writer's address and the date. Like you are writing a letter, so you are the writer, your address and the date. Number 2 is the courteous greeting or salutation. Number 3 is communication or message, that is actually the body of the letter. Then comes the subscription or courteous leave taking, or it's also called as conclusion. And the last is the signature of the writer. First, let's discuss in detail the heading. The heading informs the reader where you wrote the letter and when, like your address, where you wrote the letter, address, and when means the date. The position of heading is the top left hand corner of the first page, as you can see in the image here. The address above and the date just below it. And note one thing, do not write the name of your city or place and your name while taking the examination. Instead, you have to write like this: examination hall, city ABC, and then comes date. This is the form or the format for the heading of a letter. Clear? Okay. Then number 2 is greeting or salutation. The position of salutation is the left hand of the first page under the heading after leaving one line like this. Can you see it, children? Like after the address of the writer and the date, you have to leave a line and then greeting, like my dear father, my dear friend, or like that. Then is the communication or the body of the letter. This is of course the letter itself, and the style in which it is written will depend upon the kind of letter you wish to write. Kind of letter, do you remember which kinds of letters we discussed? We discussed earlier formal letters and informal letters. Yes, so it will depend on that. So start the letter. If you're writing a letter, a personal letter, start by asking about the recipient well-being. This can be I hope you're well or how is it going. It means like when you're writing informal letters. And if you're writing a formal letter or a business letter, get straight to the point. Few tips I'm giving you people. Okay, some suitable opening sentences for the body of the letter. I have just jotted down these all sample opening sentences for your ease. Like, I received your kind letter the other day. It is quite a long time since I heard from you. I was very glad to receive your letter yesterday. My joy knew no bounds when I learnt of your success. I'm much shocked to hear that. You'll be sorry to know that. You'll be pleased to know that, and so on. Thank you very much for the letter. I'm fine here. Hope you will also be fine, dear. I hope this letter finds you in the best of health and spirits. I hope that you are in good health. So these are some of the sample opening sentences. Things to remember while writing a letter. Divide your letter. Divide your letter means that you have to write in paragraphs. Clear? Then use simple and direct language. Do not try to be eloquent and drag in long words just because they are the long words. Be clear about what you want to say and say it directly as possible. Then is try to be complete in whatever you want to say. Then write neatly. Remember that your correspondent means the person whom you are writing a letter to has to read what you write. So do not give him unnecessary trouble. Okay, so write neatly. Then mind your punctuation. Mind your punctuation. Take care of your punctuation marks and put in commas, semicolons, full stops in proper places, because incorrect punctuation may alter the whole meaning of a sentence. So these are the few of the things that you have to remember while writing a letter. Should we move on, children? Okay. Subscription or courteous leave taking. The letter must not end abruptly, like simply with the writer's name. This would look rude, definitely. The subscription must be written below the last words of the letter and to the left side of the page. So everything is going to the left side of the page. Remember, the first word of the subscription must begin with the capital letter, like sincerely yours or yours sincerely. So first letter should be capital. Okay. The letter should close with the proper phrase. One of the following phrases may be used according to the equation, like with best regards, hoping to hear from you soon, like the opening sentences. Here I'm giving you the closing sentences, the sample closing sentences. You can go for any other closing sentences. So, with love and best wishes to all at home, anxiously waiting for your reply, hope to see you soon, thank you, or with best wishes. You can choose for anyone out of these. Okay, the signature. Signature, the name of the writer. The signature or the name of the writer must come below the subscription, again on the left hand side. Thus, yours sincerely, and as I have told you earlier also, instead of writing our name, we write XYZ from examination point of view. Clear? So here I have made a chart for you. This is showing the proper salutations and subscriptions just for the sake of your guidance. So if you see the addressee, salutation and subscription, if the addressee is relative, my dear, and then you can write the relation like my dear father, my dear mother, my dear uncle, etc. Yours affectionately will come in subscription. That would be most appropriate. Friends, my dear, then you can write the name of your friend, or you can write my dear friend also. Then yours sincerely for subscription. Then are your acquaintances, dear Mr. or Ms. This Ms stands for Miss or Mrs. Both. You can go for Miss, you can go for Mrs., Mr. Yours truly would come in subscription. Then to strangers, sir or madam, yours truly. Then officers or teachers, if you're writing a letter to officers or teachers, then again for salutation, sir or madam, and for subscription, most appropriate would be yours obediently or faithfully. Then editors of newspapers, if you're writing to sir or madam again, and subscription, yours truly. Then business concerns, sir or madam again, and for subscription, the most suitable thing would be yours faithfully. Note one thing, the subscription can also be written as your affectionate son, your sincere friend, your obedient pupil, etc. Means sky's the limit. You can go for any other thing. I'm just giving you the sample things for your help, for your comfort. Okay, children? Okay, so your letter form or format. See the address of the writer, left hand side, that is examination hall, city ABC, and then comes the date underneath it. Then, my dear uncle, and after you see address and date, this is the body of the letter. Clear? This is the body of the letter. And you have to note that after the writer's address and the date, you have to leave a line. Yes. And after this thank you, again you have to leave a line, and then comes the subscription. And your letter would look like this: examination hall, city ABC, then date. Then children, what you have to do, leave a line. Yes, then you have to address the person whom you're writing to, then the body of the letter. Then again after the this ending note, you have to leave a line, and then comes subscription. I guess everything is clear to you now. So let's recapitulate. Today we learned about letter writing in detail. First we did for the definition, then we talked about why to learn letter writing, then classification of letters, like how many classes of letters are there, formal and informal letters, business or personal letters, and then the form of letters in detail. So your home assignment is, you have to choose just for one out of these three options. Write a letter. The first option is to your uncle, thanking him for his moral support during COVID-19 quarantine. Second is to your friend, asking him or her to guide you how to prepare for examinations. And then the last one is to mother or father, asking her or him to guide you about making friends. So follow the format of letter, form of letters. Listen to the lecture very carefully. All the necessary help I have tried my level best, children, to provide you people, and hopefully you will not face any difficulty. Thank you, children, and have a nice week ahead.